So I want to understand from your perspective, obviously knowing that everyone's attacking your profit margins, like what do you do to safeguard so that your expenses for your builds don't go, into the red, right? Don't force your project to go negative.
Yeah, it's tough. So one thing I would say, so we're obviously in this and we believe in it and we'll continue to build ground up new construction rentals because we want to grow our portfolio that way. And then we'll continue to do them for other people because it just helps fuel what we're already doing and keeps our subcontractors busy and kind of an economies of scale thing for us. Um, Hindsight being 2020, had I known how tough it is to run a profitable construction company, I probably would have picked a different industry to go into because the profit margins are very, very tight. And I mean, very, very tight. There's no other, I have a lot of friends who are successful business owners, and I have a handful of them that are builders and they're successful at it. But there's not a lot of people that make it in the building industry because of that, because the profit margins are so tight on new constructions, especially today. Um, it just makes it really, really tough. So one thing you brought up was land development. I would love to spend more time and do some land development so that because we would almost eliminate those surprises. So I think it would be worth it. The problem is the cost of land development per lot right now is so expensive. It makes it really tough with build to rent, in my opinion, unless you're doing it at scale. We've had a lot of success in the market where we're at with infill lots. Again, we'll get those occasional surprises, but usually we can get decent deals on lots. We're getting the lots for cheaper than what development costs would be, which helps bring the cost of the house down, which ultimately brings the cost of the rent down and makes it more successful. And then as far as us, just keeping it tight and making sure that because it's got to be profitable, otherwise it's not worth doing. Um, we've gotten really good at dialing in our construction budgets and our estimates. Um, that's through a lot of learning the hard way and the missing the stuff and then wondering why it was more expensive at the end. But we've got a fairly detailed like budget template that we use that's really line item. It's like anything on a new construction project that we're going to spend money. If we're going to cut a check or pay a vendor, whether it's materials or labor or anything, that's probably on there on that line item. And so, and we've got past data, so we're not just putting down what we think it's going to cost today. We're putting down what we think it's going to cost today, and then we're referencing it to either the same or very similar new construction. And then that really helps us get dialed in. We generally, I like to say that we're, within 3% plus or minus on what we think it's going to cost. So I'll hear people occasionally that are like either a new builder or sometimes they're experienced builders, honestly, and they'll tell me they're like, oh, this is what we're building it for per square foot, or this is what this is going to cost. And I'm like, there's no way. They're like, there's literally no way that you're going to build that for that much money because it's just. And I don't think it's that they're doing it on purpose. I think they just don't know sometimes. They're not tracking it close enough, so they don't know what their actual true costs are on stuff. And then on top of that, like running a business, we've got overhead expenses and things that add on to there as well.